And the first comment I get is crash on the way there and do humanity a favor. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Welcome to King Moves. In chess, the king moves one step at a time, but that single move can change everything. Each week, we explore mindset shifts and simple actions that could lead to the next breakthrough in your business and life. I'm your co-host, Ethan King, from Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author of Wealth Beyond Money.
And I'm your co-host, Justin King, no relation to Ethan, from Cape Town, South Africa. Entrepreneur, speaker, and business growth strategist. Our journey crosses continents and cultures as we think out loud, challenge assumptions, and uncover the small moves that create big momentum. Welcome to King Moves. Let's start the conversation.
Yeah, so Justin, there's a lot of AI hate in the world, and I kind of had a sense of it, but now I'm noticing it even more. And I got my first, hopefully maybe my only, but I got my first death wish online. No lie. So I posted a video. It was like a hype video for an upcoming event that I have, and the promoter, the event organizer, they asked me to get people excited that I'm coming to deliver this AI workshop. And the first comment I get is crash on the way there and do humanity a favor.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I'm starting to see more and more examples of this in life. Another example, I recently did a keynote down in Key West, Florida, and as I was on the elevator, and there was an older couple there too. So Key West is very laid back beach town. A lot of older people retire in Florida. And this older couple, she was like, "Young man, you look so nice. You're dressed so sharp," because I just gotten off stage, right? And she was like, "What are you here for?" And I said, "Well, I'm here speaking at a conference." And she said, "Oh, what do you speak about?" And I said, I teach AI and automation to small business owners." And man, she went cold. She gave me the meanest look in the world and stopped talking to me. It was crazy. And so I'm being reminded that most of the world really they despise AI. Like I knew there was resentment, but I did not realize the level to which it is. And now the articles, the Reddit that we were looking at earlier today with the attacks on Sam Altman on his life. This is the two in the past few days. People have thrown a Molotov cocktail at Sam Altman's house, the founder of OpenAI, who owns ChatGPT. And then there was a drive-by shooting. They fired shots at his house. So between my personal experiences and Sam Altman's, I'm like, okay, this is serious. People have strong feelings toward this. And I am amazed because I think it's the greatest thing, the greatest gift we could be given now that gives us a head start, that allows us to do more, to be more efficient, to take advantage of and seize more opportunities than we could before. But at the same time, people despise it because they feel threatened by it. So I'm just bewildered. Would love to hear your take on it and if you've seen in South Africa.
Do you think it's people are showing up and behaving that way because of what it already is, or just what they're scared of it becoming?
Yeah, there's definitely fear. I think it's a mix of both. I think some people probably their jobs have been displaced by AI. I mean, if you were doing any type of mindless work, data entry, copying and pasting, if that was your job, then somebody has probably replaced you already with an AI agent that can do that at no cost. And there are probably a lot of people who were very comfortable making a living doing that type of thing. And if you don't adapt, if you don't stay nimble and stay on the cutting edge, and I don't want to feel like I'm putting people down who have that type of job, but we have to seek things now. We're in a world where we need to seek economic opportunities that require human thinking and human judgment. The button pusher, if you're just pushing a button and it's a mindless task, your job is going to be replaced. And that may seem like a brutal thing to say, but there's no point in fighting it. It's not going anywhere. The train has left the building and it is full force. The momentum, it is not slowing down. It's not going to stop So you just have to adapt. And that's just the reality of it.
It is indeed. It's the same as it's the production line. It's a production line that is no longer. And people manage to figure out and find more jobs thereafter. You just had to kind of change the mindset, change the lens through which you look at the opportunity. And I think that's the key. We've got to see this as an opportunity. It's not going away. It is not changing. And if we see it, I've spoken about it before. If we see it as the enemy, that is a surefire way to being an individual that is deeply unhappy, that is going to start sending death threats online, whatever it is you feel that you need to do, because certainly you're not changing it, you're not slowing it down. That is fact. For me, what's interesting, Ethan, is I think if we take the conversation to business owners, entrepreneurs, founders now, I had this same conversation quite recently that business owners, entrepreneurs, founders, that the decision that has to be made now is who are you required to kind of serve more, or what are you going to serve more? Are you going to serve your people within your business, or are you going to serve the vision of your business? So the impact in the world that you're wanting to make, because if your responsibility is to serve that vision of your business, the reason that you started this change that you wanted to make in the world, or this problem that you wanted to solve for X number of people, X number of companies, if that's what you serve, the reality is you have to lean into it. The alternative is you kind of turn a blind eye to serving that and saying, well, the vision of my organization is not actually the most important. What the most important thing is the people in my organization. And that's very noble. Very noble, don't get me wrong. But I think if you do that, you're going to find yourself wanting not even in the long term, the short to the medium term, because if you only focus on your people, and when I say focus on serving your people, I mean retaining all jobs possible, not replacing where you can with AI, because if you do that, I don't think your business is going to be, must choose my words carefully, it's probably going to reduce the shelf life of your business if you don't lean into AI and leverage it where you can. And I hosted a fireside chat a couple of weeks ago and had a very, very successful entrepreneur in that conversation. And he has decreased his workforce number. He is in the ed tech space. He's decreased his workforce number from 380, roughly 380 people, to about 90 in the last 18 to 24 months. And that is because he has unapologetically gone all in on AI. And he said his starting point was about 2 years ago. He had that conversation with the entire team, the entire business, and he says, this is the type of organization that we're going to be. What I'm going to do for all of you is I'm going to train you and give you the opportunity to upskill yourselves on AI. And that's what he did. He made sure that everybody was aware of what it is, what it means, how to leverage it in your role. And the organization, the employees themselves actually help navigate where are the first places going to be where this comes in and some people start dropping out. And he said it's impossible to keep everybody happy and motivated, but what he was brutally honest around, this is the type of organization we're going to be. This is the type of organization I believe we need to become. And if we don't leverage AI, we are going to get left behind. So that's one of those brutal examples of, I think, why so many people are fearing this, because you see that example, you see that happening, you see that in practice, and you just think, oh my word, where have those 270 people now gone? What are they doing? And interestingly enough, it was actually a lot of people in the call center. There was a lot of people that are doing customer service, which were the first to be impacted. But having said that, I had the exact same conversation with another founder who's starting a big mobile networking service in South Africa. And he has doubled down on his call center needing to have people in it, because he has said that his clientele need to speak to a human being. They have figured out that so far just replacing that with AI doesn't work. So again, it's not just a one size fits all. We can't just use one brushstroke to paint all of this. There still are nuances to this, but it's there. It's not going away.
Yeah. And I wonder, is there a way to do both? Can you empower your people So can you still be a people first company and be an AI first company? Because the message I preach is that AI is not here to replace people, it's here to replace tasks.
Yes.
So call center, for example. Okay, well, the task there is answering the phone, delivering support, but it depends on the situation. Like you said, there are nuances. So every situation is not exactly the same. Every task isn't exactly the same, even if you're working in a call center. So some of those can be automated. Yeah, we sell voice AI agents all the time. It can be very beneficial to have an AI voice agent that can answer the phone 24/7. It can answer, if 50 people call at once, it can answer all of them because it's not limited to the human capacity. And I have, for example, I have clients who own restaurants, and most restaurants, small business owners, someone calls the restaurant to ask the same generic questions. Oh, what time do you close today? What can I get directions? I'm coming from this place. How do I get to your restaurant? It's the exact same questions over and over again. But that small business is being interrupted from serving the people who are there, from cooking the food, because they have to answer the phone and answer these repeated questions. But instead, we're now employing AI voice agents to just answer these repetitive questions for them. And it's a huge relief to the business owner. They can do so much more. It frees them up because that AI agent is handling 90% of the use cases. And in those rare edge cases, it can transfer the call to a human being. I just see it as empowering. And I think the thing is, if you train your people on how to use it and you empower them and they actually embrace it and apply it in their lives, then they won't see AI as a bully anymore. Like you have to bully the bully by using the bully to get an advantage in your life.
Yeah, I think that's the key. And when I say the key, I think it's serving your people and it's serving your vision and your mission. And I would say you do that by upskilling your staff, your employees, your people. You give them the opportunity to learn and understand the skill of implementing AI. What that doesn't guarantee, though, is that it's going to save or preserve their role or their job within your organization. But I think what you're doing for that person is you're future-proofing them, because I guarantee there will be another business or another role that's similar to the one that they're in now, that they will be able to take the skills that you've helped them understand and learn from an AI perspective into that role and possibly head up the department on that side. Because it can be like, hey guys, I've seen this movie before. I was part of a business where we were running it exactly like this, but it has changed, and I understand how to roll this out, how to do this, where the quick wins are, where the low hanging fruit is. Let me walk you through that. And all of a sudden, that's the team lead, the manager, of today. It's the person who can leverage AI in that way for the next organization. It's almost this waterfall effect. There's always going to be somebody coming up that's not quite up to speed and not at the same pace. And those people that are kind of falling off at that moment, they have the opportunity to take what they learn, implement it there, and then grow with the next. So probably a good way to look at it. That's the best way we can serve people, is make sure that you are training them, upskilling them on this tool that's going to serve your company and them later on as well.
Yeah. I think what I'm seeing is the biggest hurdle is the person's mindset, because people who are enthusiastic about AI are used to delegating things to other people. So you and I, we speak to leaders all the time, right? We speak to business owners, entrepreneurs, executives, leaders, managers who are used to telling someone else what to do. So now AI amplifies that, because now I can tell AI what to do 24/7. There's never any pushback. There's no excuses. There's no calling in sick. So we see that as an amplifier. But someone, alternatively, is someone who has never had to tell someone else what to do, who's an employee who takes orders. Now training them, upskilling them to now delegate tasks to someone else feels like a huge burden to them, because they're going to have to adapt to that state. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't know how to do it. They've never had to do it for 30 years. And now you're like, okay, I need to tell this thing to do it, and it's just going to do it. And then how do I communicate to it? Really, leadership skills are key for AI skills. It's leadership
Hmm.
communication.
Have you found that, and that's a really good point, have you found in your experience of all the AI implementation that you've done with your clients, are there people that are better at it? Are they the ones who are better communicators in general? That might sound
Exactly.
silly. Do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. That is the key. Communicating with AI, we stripped away the need to be a computer programmer. You don't need to be a coder.
Yes.
I'm not a coder. You're speaking in plain English, but the effectiveness that you get out of AI is how well your ability to communicate with it, to give it all of the context that it needs, to communicate your desired output, how you want it formatted, those types of things, to give it all the right inputs and to build the tools and the formatting. It's all just English language, but the better you are at communicating with people, it goes hand in hand. I've noticed that I've become a better communicator with people the more I've
Yeah.
been using AI. And I think I'm also good with AI because I've led people for the past 2 decades up to this point before AI even really hit the scene. So it goes hand in hand. I believe that the gap will continue to widen between those who are good at leadership communication and those who aren't, and those who resist learning it. That's the fundamental skill. Those who just, there are a lot of people who maybe not listening to this podcast, but there are a lot of people who aren't very ambitious, don't want to lead, have no desire to. They just want to be told what to do. You just show up, push a button, and earn an income. And unfortunately, that economy is going away. That is going to be delegated to the robots. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. And as Darwin said, it's not the strongest of the species that survives, but it's the ability to adapt and adjust to the changing environment in which it finds itself. And this is a
Yeah.
rapidly changing environment. You gotta adapt and adjust.
Man, we've got that's so interesting because I hadn't gone all the way down to just it's a form of communication, just as simple as that. It's essentially, and you nailed it. The word was it's the ability to delegate, and people that are good at delegating and look at opportunities or look for opportunities to delegate are generally probably going to be the early adopters of AI a lot of the time. And those who delegate regularly and delegate well because they can communicate well are probably the ones who are going to have seen the most value because you've set it up well. It's the
Yeah.
same as the person who hires a marketing, again, you know this, hires a marketing agency and just says, do the thing, but can't articulate what they're wanting, or just with the design, just make it pop a little bit more, Ethan. I want you to make it pop a little bit more. That's the brief. That's the brief. And no matter what you do as a designer, you go back and they're still not happy. But that's not popping because they're unable to articulate. And if we were just briefing into whatever the platform was into any LLM, it would be just to say, make it pop. It's not going to know what you're asking for. And you're probably going to say this AI thing is bullshit.
Yeah, this AI sucks because
Yeah.
that's a great example. You know what that really resonates with me is because I come from a graphic design background and I've encountered that so many times. I told people, I said being a graphic designer is 90% mind reading because
Yeah.
people cannot articulate the vision that's in their head. So my job as a designer was to figure out what they really want. What do they really see in
Mm-hmm.
their head, and to get them to communicate that to me. And the better I was at that, and I could deliver on that, you know, so that the design is achieving their goals and it complements what's in their head, then that's why I had success as a graphic designer. Whereas other people, if you're just guessing, when you say make it pop, you have a vision in your head. You're just not saying it. You're saying you think you communicated it to me. You think you
Yeah.
said, I told Ethan to make it pop. That meant yellow text on a black background. When I hear make it pop, I'm thinking bright blue text on a red background or whatever, right? So we have that's a prime example, and we have to communicate clearly with AI. There's a balance because we also have to leave room to allow the AI to exercise its genius because it is
Mm-hmm.
smarter than us. So the art in communicating with AI is giving it the right amount of context to clearly state your goal, but then also leave it room to inject its own genius that surpasses yours because it's been pre-trained on everything, and take what you gave it and expand upon it and transform it. That's what the T in GPT means, transformer. So that's what it's doing.
Very interesting. Very interesting because I want to take the conversation all the way back to this See, look, the death threats that you've received, and to the hatred and the violence that has been doing the rounds. Do you think that's because enough water has now flowed under the bridge that there are real people, and I shared an example, there are real people who have lost jobs because of this. So we're probably at that stage where there's fear of what this thing could do to me. But there are also now a lot of people that have got a lived experience of what this has already done to me. And that's going to be interesting to see the people that are being displaced and have been displaced. Where do they end up? What camp do they end up in as far as I hate this fucking thing and I'm going to go to war with it, or I've seen how powerful it was. I need to get on board. I need to light a fire under my own ass and get working and get understanding. And I'm going to be the one kind of paving the way in the next role that I'm in. That's quite interesting to me. I don't know which way people are going to go.
Yeah. And I think the thing is people see it as we like to put things in buckets of good or evil, black or white, good or bad, right? That's just how we've seen stories. But nothing is inherently good or evil. Like it's all a mixture of both, and it depends on the lens that you're looking at it. So this makes me think of Star Wars, and they were like, join the dark side. Well, if you see AI as the dark side, change that thinking. Maybe it is the other side from where you're used to living your life, but you kind of don't have a choice. You got to join the dark side. If you see it AI as the dark side, then instead of resisting it because you're going to lose, join the dark side. Now you're on the winning team. Learn how to use it to your advantage.
Yeah. It's going to become the only side.
The only side. Yeah.
When are you going to join it is really the question.
Yeah.
Because it's going to become the only side.
Yeah. Resistance is futile.
Exactly. Man, that's been an interesting conversation. But it's going to be really interesting just to keep an eye on this violence that's erupted around it. That's taken me by a bit of surprise. Yeah, that's crazy. It really is crazy.
Yeah. So my king move is lean in. Don't resist, but lean into the change. See how it can benefit your life. And please stop the violence. Don't send me death threats. I didn't invent this thing. I'm trying to empower you. I'm on your side. So don't send me death threats. Don't send Sam Altman or anyone death threats. Learn how to take advantage of this gift we've been given with AI. See it as a gift that can mint you a millionaire in the next couple of years if you leverage it the right way, because all you need to do is speak plain English to it, learn communication skills, learn how to communicate with it, and it can make you rich. It can change your life. So see the good in it. That's a wrap for today's episode of King Moves. Quick favor before we go. If this episode made you think differently or helped you see your next move more clearly, take 30 seconds and leave us a review. It helps the show reach leaders who need these conversations. Remember, in chess, like in business, one right move can change everything.
Take today's action step, make your move, and build momentum. And if you found value in today's episode, share it with someone who's ready for the next breakthrough. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our weekly conversations.
Until next time.